I'm on fireball.
So I just got back to my room. My roommate is currently on a walk, so I'm using this time to nap first of all, and then kind of reflect and debrief with you guys. So first, I'm gonna do a haul. They have a little shop downstairs, so I'm gonna do that. First, I got this super cute bracelet. That's what it is. Super cute. So I got that, and then I got this shirt. It's John Paul II. It says, Pope St. John Paul II, pray for us. And then this is the back. It is Jesus you seek when you dream of happiness. So that's everything that I got. Now I'm gonna kind of go over some of the stuff that I have in my journal. So this is my journal. I use it for a lot of different things. I took it to CLE 2 and 6 and now LTLC. But there's been some really good conversations and stuff recently. So, hey guys, editing Izzy here. Just, this next clip where I'm reading all the stuff, it's gonna be kind of long, but I don't feel like editing any of it because I feel like it's all really good information. So yeah. So I'm just gonna want to go over some key points that I've written down. Mary went through the same things we go through except for sin. So if she can do that, so can we. If she can do what we did and more, but also less, we can go through that and do that too. Because Mary went through these, so we can too. The Lord Jesus, he carried a cross. He went through so much, and there are times where we feel like we can't do something. He did that. He did all those really, really hard things for us so that we could do easier things through him. So that's that. And then this is a leadership conference. So some of the things is what a leader is and isn't. A leader is not a title. It's not based off popularity. It's not based off of control, and it's not based off of perfection. Because if you wait to be perfect, you will never lead. No one's ever going to be perfect. No leader is perfect. But a leader is service. A leader is love and having faith and putting that faith into action. A leader is constant influence rooted in their character. So if you have a consistency with your character, that's going to be the influence you give everyone, and that's what's going to make you a good leader. If you're not a different leader for certain people, if you are you, the same you. Courage and discernment, which is just prayer life. A good leader or a leader in general should have a prayer life. And then a leader is someone who passionately points others to God, not just someone who was pointed to God and points others to themselves. It should be someone who is pointed to God and shares that same direction. And as leaders, we need to give ourselves to Mary and the Eucharist, because those are things that were made for us to follow. And the Lord is pushing us because he wants us to lead. He wants us to be leaders. He wants us to lead other people to him. So he's going to push us through trials and error and everything, and he's going to be there with us, because he doesn't care. God, that's my next point, is God doesn't care because he wants each of us individually. That kind of goes to something else that we heard today. He wants each of us individually because he made us each individually. He ordered us each individually. He gives us individual mercy, individual talents, individual graces, individual stories and things like that. So like, he doesn't care what you do or what others think of you, because he knows what he thinks of you. We have to think the same within ourselves. There was this really good analogy that my prayer partner made, is like, we see like in black, like say we see in black and white and like kind of what the world tells us to see, and then God is like glasses or a lens, and when we put those on, we see color where there's supposed to be color from the Lord, and like we see the way he wants us to see once we finally accept and put on the glasses, which I think is really cool. So that's that. Sorry about the angle change, I like this more. I feel like this is like, anyway, so that's that. He doesn't care because he knows. Like, he knows everything that's going on. We have to be willing to give him our problems, give him our struggles and all that stuff, along with Mama Mary. Because if you can't give yourself and your being to the people who already know you, the people who want you to know them, there's no point in trying to know yourself, basically. This thing I absolutely love was from one of the priests who talked. Let God be God. Don't replace him with something. Don't lose sight of reality. Don't focus relationships on certain things. Let God be God. Let God in control. Let God in the center of everything that you say and everything that you do. Because we're never going to do it alone. But if we believe that we're going to do it alone, we're not going to let God work his fullest potential in our lives. Because he wants to experience our lives with us. He knows what our path is. He knows what our life's going to be like. And he wants to walk it with us, to know our struggles, to know what we like, to know what we don't like. Because he knows those, I don't want to say program, that's how he wrote us. He's the author of our lives, and he wrote us a certain way. And he is going to walk with us through that journey that he wrote down, just so we have someone to lean on, just so we have someone with us in those moments. So that's when we have to ask ourselves, how do we give in our relationship with God? Like, what do we give to God? What are we providing in our relationship with God? And is it, I don't want to say, like, is it prioritized that we give to God before we give to the world? Because we can't lose sight of reality. We can't lose sight of our priorities. Like, God should be first no matter what. If the rest of the list is mixed up, that's God's plan, because you already gave that to God. Our neighbors have really good music taste, and when they're showering, they blast their music, and I love it. Anyways, but yeah, because your life is perfected once you bring it to Jesus, once you bring it to the altar. So that's that. And God's mercy is limitless. His love is limitless as soon as you give it to him. Trying to see where I worded it. There was something. Hello? I know I wrote it down. It's like eternal. It was okay. If we're willing to stay in a relationship with the Lord, it's promised to be eternal. Once we decide to enter a relationship with the Lord, that relationship is going to be eternal, forever and ever and ever. He will love us, and like, we will love him back. And then that will lead then to eternal mercy. That will lead to eternal love. That will lead to eternal help. Because we can be so numb to sin that it feels like it's like a quick fix, or you don't even realize that it's hurting you, and you lose sight of its danger because you didn't enter the relationship with God fully. And we all have fallen victim of that. We're all sinners. We've all done things that are wrong. We all lose sight of God at some points. And like, we all can admit that. There's no one who has never lost sight of God. There's no one who's never sinned who is on this earth today. So that's everything from day one. And today we had one session And it's all about order and kind of how God individually made us all. And like ordered things cannot tell, like when things are in an order, that order itself cannot tell you why it's like that or who did that. We have to figure that out for ourselves. And it's like said in Genesis. Genesis is like chapter 1 and chapter 2 mainly are like the order of life and the purpose and the reason and who and the why. But it's all said like we have to figure that out once we reach ourselves. And we can't just think of the beginning as its own order and the end as its own thing. Those things are inseparable. Those things need one each other. Like they cannot be separated in conversation, in discussion, in just life in general. Those things cannot, like, they are constantly overlapping, and that's the way that it should be. And then this talk also talked a lot about purpose. God creates to give purpose. So like in Genesis, he spoke things into being. Or it doesn't say that in Genesis, but like to sum up kind of Genesis 1, he would speak things into being and they were there. And then once he created everything, he had a purpose for each thing. The sky has its purpose, the fish had its purpose, the birds had a purpose, the water had the purpose, the light had a purpose, we have a purpose. And God creates us for a purpose. Because we as human beings are animated by the breath of God, and we are the only creatures who are able to choose God. There's no other being on earth, like human beings are the only thing that God made where we choose, like we have the ability to choose him, the ability to love him, the ability to open up and be vulnerable to him. Things like that. And then what we can do is what we're supposed to do. So like if once we realize like I said, so our purpose, like God made us for a purpose, but to find that purpose, we have to figure out what we can do. That are things obviously still in the name of the Lord. Obviously we can sin and we all do sin. That's not what we're made to do. So, and then she ended with this amazing prayer. And it was like a long prayer, but there was one line that really stuck out to me. I was like, this is amazing. She said, if God, if you were not thinking of us right now, we would not be here. So like, if God stops thinking about you, you wouldn't be on earth right now. Like if you ever feel like, God doesn't see me, God's not with me, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. If I ever thought like, there's no way that God like sees me, he's not listening to me, he's not listening to my prayers, he doesn't like, God's not with me, I would not be here right now. God is constantly thinking about you, prioritizing you, loving you, with you, and that's why you are on earth. So that is kind of my like reflection, my little rant about this conference so far. I'm not too excited because next we have women's and men's group. I'm not a fan of those, but I hope I get something good out of it instead of an anxiety attack. Prayers. But I'm gonna try and take a nap now. So also, I'm so sorry, I haven't filmed much. I'm trying not to be like on my phone during certain times. So not many filming. It's gonna be a lot of copyright-free music over just little clips, probably even like live photos here and there. So yeah. Just woke up. Sorry, I got this little classic color cues card. Super cute. Yeah, I think today's like the last chill day we have. Today we're all wearing